What is up, everybody in YouTube land, and welcome to this episode of From the Mind of an Appliance Technician. I am your friendly neighborhood appliance technician, Chris, and this is C&G Appliance Television. Thank you guys so much for being here. You could be so many other places on the internet right now, but you're here with me, and I really appreciate that. All like two of you that watch this channel. I really appreciate it. After all, this channel is about putting my thoughts out there and my knowledge as well for you guys to digest, and that's what this is all about. I'm here as kind of the no-nonsense guy that will give it to you as straight as I know how. With that, we are on the 28th of April 2020, and we are the now global epicenter of the virus and this pandemic that's going on. So here we are, talking about opening up our economy and things like that in certain places, which I understand. I can see both sides of the coin, guys, so I'm not here to really talk about that. I am here to remark on the state of the industry right now. What is appliance repair doing? What is the appliance industry as a whole doing? How are we? Well, I know in my small corner of the world, in Stillwater, Oklahoma, fridge orders are out until June, as are freezers, at least. Most places that exist in the U.S. and around the world, factories that are producing these appliances are running skeleton crews at this point, and that is starting to catch up to the industry. Places like Lowe's and the big box stores and things like that will not be hit as soon as little guys that make smaller orders like us are. So we have basically what's in the back and what's on the floor, and we order a little over the minimum order of appliances most of the time, and it's usually a lot of it is spec'd out for builders, things that they've already come in and bought, that they know they're going to need in the coming week. They order a week ahead because it takes our truck a week to get here from the distribution center. So basically we're ordering what's left in the distribution centers, and there are some appliances like refrigerators that, guys, they're out till June. The sales end of this industry is going to feel things hard. If it hasn't affected, if you are selling appliances out there and it hasn't affected you yet, it will. It will. Because we don't really know how long this whole thing is going to drag out. So that pretty much is where the sales end of the industry is. Now, flip over to our end of the industry, what most people, I believe, at least people that I believe watch this channel, are interested in, and that's the service end. The service end of this industry is going strong, and is probably going to go even stronger for a long time. And let me tell you why. If orders on fridges and freezers are out until June at least, we're going to be doing some unorthodox things that we don't normally do as technicians. We're going to be replacing sealed systems on refrigerators that we wouldn't ordinarily work on. Freezers, we're going to be doing sealed system work on freezers as well, because if you're forced to if you've got a freezer and around here, the popular thing to do, or one of the popular things to do in the rural communities, is to buy a side of beef from your neighbor Ed down the road that might have just butchered a cow. You go halvesies on the cow and get a side of beef. So you need a freezer to freeze your side of beef. Well, you've got this one that's been kicking around in the barn for 5 years or so that you haven't plugged in, and all of a sudden you plug it in and figure out the compressor's locked up. Well, you can't get a new one, and you need a freezer, so you're just out the compressor job to fix it. So that's pretty much the state of that I see the service industry going in the next few months, if things persist this way. Now, it hasn't gotten to that point for me yet. I have worked on some older things and serviced some older things than I ordinarily would have. That example I used of a freezer that hasn't been plugged in for 5 years is actually not too far off. Guy asked me, well, what do you think could be wrong? And I go, well, you haven't had it plugged in for 5 years, and we know an evaporator fan's making noise, so we got to get that thing working to know that it works correctly. I said, usually sealed systems they hold their Freon until something corrodes through. I said, there's no telling what may or may not be corroded through on this thing. So you either roll the dice with an evaporator fan, you toss an evaporator fan at it, and hope the defrost system and everything else works on it, and no mice have chewed any of the wirings. I looked underneath it, it looked all fine, so roll the dice, So there's going to be a lot more work like that. I feel like it's going to be coming down the pipe pretty soon, which kind of sort of segues me into my next point, guys. Don't shortchange yourself, okay? We are taking extra precautions these days for the virus and this pandemic, okay? We are taking a lot of extra precautions. We're buying gloves. We're buying, if we can, masks. We're buying hand sanitizer. We're buying, wipes to wipe our trucks and vehicles. And I wipe my cell phone down, with Lysol wipes. I've got a bucket of them in whatever, a tube or bucket. I don't even know. They come in that little dispenser. You know what I'm talking about. I've got one of those in my truck that every day I'll pull a wipe out after I'm done, and I wipe the whole truck down. Everything that I think I've touched, I will wipe that down. So, granted, it's not a huge expense for a lot of that stuff, but, gloves, hand sanitizer, masks, things like that, that is an extra expense, guys. So pad that in wherever you can. Service call, parts, or labor, it doesn't matter. Pad it in somewhere so you make the money back and so you don't feel it. That's what it's all about. Of course, you my business owners out there know that already. Don't shortchange yourself out there. Don't, it's okay to help people out. Of course, I'm big on, putting karma out there, putting good karma out there, because it comes back. Doing the right thing, basically, is what I'm all about. So, that said, I wanted to talk about a type of deal that you may or may not encounter as a service technician. My father, when I started out as an automotive technician back in the early 2000s, this is back in the early 2000s when I was an auto technician. First starting out I ran 4 years between two dealerships on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, which are now both no longer in existence, so that kind of dates me. But at that time, I was aspiring to be a technician. He told me, don't ever tell anybody you're an auto technician. He says, because you will have more friends than you know what to do with. So, I find that where the skill of an automotive technician, or HVAC, or plumbing, or anything like that is in demand, appliance technicians are more in demand because there are not very many of us, guys. we're pretty much a solitary bunch. There's not too many of us, so we're even more in demand. So I looked at my dad when he told me to not tell anybody I was an automotive technician, and I was like, Dad, why would I not tell anybody? Because I'm all about being cool. I thought it was cool, it was something to talk about, But you get a lot of friends referring their friends to you. Okay, so you'll get friend-to-friend deals. Now, the way I work, personally, now this is just my personal system. You don't have to adopt it if you don't want. But I do not charge family a dime. I put everything on my own dime to fix family stuff. Just because I'm all about family first. I don't care about the money when it comes to family. I just want to use my skills to help me out or help them out, because in return they do the same thing for me if I ever need them. So friends, I charge a very significant discount for. I usually just charge friends like $20 the parts, or hell, just buy me beer. Like I don't care. Like do something, buy me food, beer, whatever, and I'm good. And it's all I'm all about bartering with friends, because a lot of my friends have things that I like, and we have a barter system going. My close friends and I most of the time. So very seldom will we deal in cash, but guys, friends of friends get my normal side work rate. Okay, friends of friends don't count, and that's where I draw the line. It's like, look, I'd love to help your buddy out, but I don't know that guy from Adam, and especially with all this stuff going around these days, we want to be as safe as we can so that we don't take stuff home to our families, right? If you have a family. Some of you guys may not. Some of you guys may be younger and starting out, which is good. You guys have a leg up if you're younger, but a lot of us, myself included, have got families. I've got a wife and son at home, and I don't want them to get anything. Flu, this virus, otherwise, doesn't matter. I don't want anybody to get anything in this house. So that's my big thing. And when friends of friends look at me and say, why are you so high? Like, why is your service call that much? Which it really isn't. I charge less than anybody else would around here, but it's just, they expect, since they know a guy who knows a guy, that they're going to get some kind of discount. I just shrug and say, look, I've been doing this for 9 years. And it doesn't matter whether you've been doing this for 9 years or a week. You have the knowledge. If you've been doing this for a week, hopefully you've had some form of training. Hopefully you know how to troubleshoot to some degree. We all have a learning curve. There is a learning curve to this industry, definitely. It took me quite a few years to actually get a handle on things. So, I can basically walk in and, have a few different possibilities rolling in my head for what I think a given problem, what I think the cause of a given problem may be. It takes a while to get to that level. But you do get there, and the people that pay for that. They pay for that. They pay for my skill. They pay for my labor. So, guys, that's the big message that I can give to you, especially in these times, is please, please, please do not shortchange yourselves. I encourage you to draw the line at friends of friends. Some of you may just have fair weather friends, even, that you don't, and that's the other thing. Like, if somebody comes out of the woodwork from, 5-6 years ago that I haven't seen or hasn't talked to me, and then all of a sudden they want me to give them a discount on fixing their appliance? Sorry. No, it's only for my close friends that I'll work for beer or a meal or whatever. So that's just me, guys. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to support a family, especially in these times when money's tight. Shorter hours, and that's the other thing. A lot of us are working shorter hours, myself included. So the money's not quite the same as it used to be, and we don't know how long this is going to drag out. So we've all got to do what we got to do. So biggest message, guys: don't shortchange yourselves. Remember that people are paying for knowledge, and remember what you're paying for as far as PPE goes, personal protective equipment. Those are the biggest things that I can give you for this time. The other thing that I wanted to touch on too is, like I said, we're going to be doing some unorthodox work. I think that unorthodox work, to kind of clarify, is going to be largely sealed system stuff, okay? So this is the time where I would suggest that you get your sealed system game up, because there's a lot of push these days, not a heck of a lot, but Master Samurai posted a conceptualization video about a month ago about virtual service calls. I'm also noticing that my tech support end of things has picked up a lot as well. Will people be going to the virtual service call in the future? I don't think it's permanent, but I do think that it's something that's temporary. And we don't know how long this pandemic thing is going to drag out. And if you guys do sealed system stuff, that is something that requires very specialized equipment and tools that the average homeowner cannot usually possess. Okay, unless they're in HVAC or something like that, chances are they don't possess like gauges, refrigerant, a torch. They might have a torch, I don't know. Because I run into a lot of farmers with oxyacetylene rigs too, but nothing that wouldn't just burn right through a small solder joint on a refrigerator or a small braze joint on a refrigerator. So it's very, of course, then you have the recovery equipment, vacuum pump recovery equipment, things like that, that are all very expensive and specialized. So that is not going to entirely go away. I think you'll find a lot of the smaller things moving a little bit more towards virtual service calls. Just something that may happen. Although there are some people that just don't want to work on what they have, and they just shrug their shoulders and go, well, I'm going to call a technician. So I don't think in-person service calls are going to completely go away, but it's just something to throw up in the old noggin and let it rattle around a little while, so you can really plan for the future, guys. Okay, with that, I think we ought to wrap it up here. We're kind of approaching the 20-minute mark. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with me through my rambling. I'm trying to bullet point these videos off a little bit better so I get a little bit more concise. But then something else pops into my head with my ADD, and just want to talk about it. So the main thing is, you guys out there that are running service calls, my guys that are out there that own businesses or who are technicians out there, stay safe, guys. Please. That's the number one priority. Money aside, stay safe, stay healthy, keep yourself healthy so your family stays healthy. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for staying here with me. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next episode.